The book that I've got with me today, it was written in 1951, but it feels more relevant now in our times than ever before. The book is called The Wisdom of Insecurity, written by Alan Watts. If you don't know about him, although I do think you are familiar with him, Alan Watts was a philosopher who spent much of his life to studying and explaining the Eastern wisdom, whether that's Buddhism, Taoism, Vedanta, exploring that all that wisdom and making it accessible to the Western world. And he talks about some of these fundamental issues, fundamental problems of life, and he deals them with the help of Eastern philosophy. And this particular book, as I said, is more relevant today than ever before, is because it addresses our deepest, probably deepest modern condition, which is anxiety. This endless striving and struggle for security, certainty, and control, because that's what we have got used to with the modern technologies and comfortable life. But it also leaves us feeling more insecure than ever before. And that's the point that this book tries to address here. Alan Watts, in this book, he asks us to make this radical shift. That instead of trying to control our lives, let's try to learn to live fully wherever we are, whatever we are doing, under any circumstances, just surrendering ourselves to the present moment. It sounds straightforward, but takes a lot of effort. And that's what this book does. It takes you through this journey. So the book begins with the first chapter, which is called The Age of Anxiety, and it really suits where we are right now. That's the modern human condition, always restless, always chasing something, never feeling safe. And as I said, it's mostly because of the technology and progress. It gave us comfort, but at the same time, it has kind of magnified our sense of unease, restlessness. But there is something deeper in our psyche, he says, that is making us unhappy. He says that we're always looking for something in the future. He says that we appear to be happy just so long as we have a future to which we can look forward to. And that's true. That's something we're always striving to achieve, something, maybe looking forward to more achievements, more wealth, more success, better relationships. So that's something that keeps us going. But at the same time, it takes us away the joy of the present moment. Takes the beauty of the right now away from us. And he also talks about the role of religion, or in general, the belief in God. And he says it's quickly fading away. And that's true. He said that in 1951. Right now we can see very little of faith is left. And because of that, what he's suggesting is the role certain myths play in our lives. The way they can heal us, the way they can comfort us and give us meaning, that has been taken away. And suddenly, since we have doubts, more doubts than beliefs, I would say, then it'll be hard for us to find meaning. So since we don't have that belief, we don't have those myths, at the same time, we want to improve our lives, we want to grab everything that we can get hold of, and we want to consume a lot of things and quickly do that. But at the same time, as I said, at the back of the mind, because of lack of belief, lack of meaning, there is this realization that the whole thing is just futile and meaningless. So that what that causes is some kind of frustration, anxiety, agitation, and eventually it leads to some kind of addiction to uh, it can be certain substances, it can be food, it can be anything that you're consuming, as long as it gives you dopamine. And that's true for these devices, which we just stay glued to all the time. So that's where we are, lack of meaning and addicted to things because we want to consume. We are agitated. But does that mean that religion is the solution? Probably or probably not, because a lot of people, they believe in order to feel secure, in order to make their individual lives seem valuable and meaningful. But sometimes that might not help, especially in today's world where you get all kind of information, you get used to these modern scientific discoveries. It's very difficult to keep that faith intact. And even if it remains intact, as I said, the fundamental idea is to feel secure. And it's this idea of feeling security and certainty that is taking the present moment away from you. That's the point. You should come back here in this moment and appreciate it as it is, right here, right now. Which obviously is quite a challenging task. And he talks about it in the second chapter, which is called Pain and Time. In this chapter, it turns to our obsession with time, because you would have noticed that most of the time, whether we are thinking or discussing these ideas with anyone, either we are dwelling on the past or anticipating the future. But rarely do we inhabit the present moment. And that's where the suffering lies. The suffering lies of because of this addiction of mind to time travel. Just be in the past or be in the future rather than being here. So just avoiding this escapism, that's where the true happiness lies. And on the other side, when we keep traveling in the past or in the future, that's where the suffering lies. And he makes a very nice comparison with animals, and he says at times almost all of us envy the animals because they suffer and die, but they do not seem to make a problem of it. And that's so true. When you suffer, right? But what humans do is sometimes they anticipate their suffering, sometimes they look back at the past, and since they have suffered, and then they suffer again in their heads. So it's constant thing, this obsession with time, going back in the past, going into the future, and just reliving our suffering in our minds again and again and again. It just never ends. And once again, there's a deeper reason for that. He says that this common attitude that human beings have to make something permanent that we love, that whatever we find enjoyable, whatever that makes us happy, whatever it is, we just want to just stick to it as the Buddhists like to call it, the attachment. We want to be attached to it. Because of that, we develop this tendency to get attached to anything. And so, if an experience happens, good or bad, we get attached to it. And once that experience is over, once again we are still attached to it. We are going back to it. We just cannot overcome it. So, in that process, we're missing out on so many experiences in every moment. Every moment is an opportunity to experience something new. But since we are still stuck in the past or still thinking about future, we're missing out on those moments. And in that sense, probably animals are doing much better than us. Because for the animal to be happy, it is enough that this particular moment is enjoyable. But human beings, we are hardly satisfied with this moment. We want more. We want more joys. We want memories. We want excitement of future. We want all of it. And that a lot of times can cause suffering. You may say that when we're looking at happy memories or anticipating a happy future, it's making us happier rather. It's giving more joy to us, adding to the pleasure part. And it's true. It's true that it's adding to the pleasure, but it's also true the other side of it, that it's adding to the pain also. Because once a pain is inflicted on us, it's going to stay with us and we are going to go back to it. Or there's a worry about future, we are going to be thinking about it. So if we are going to build our life that way, that we are going to get attached to the experiences that once we have had, and we're going to stick with them, that way there will be moments of pleasures, heightened pleasures rather, and there will be moments of pain, heightened pain. Instead, another way of living life could be, as I said, to be in the moment and having a lot more experiences with open mind and experiencing the life as it is, rather than just making anything up in our heads, rather than reliving the memories, rather than thinking about anything else, any possibility. Just experiencing the life more intimately, closely. That's what real life is. And that's something we'll learn in the next chapter, which is the great stream. And in this chapter, he makes a very good comparison. He says, we seem to be like flies caught in honey, which means that life is sweet and we do not want to give it up. And yet, the more we become involved in it, the more we are trapped, the more we are limited, the more we are frustrated eventually. So we love it and hate it at the same time. We fall in love with people, our possessions, and then eventually we get tortured by the anxiety, by the suffering. So it's not just that there's a contradiction between ourselves and the surrounding universe. No, this contradiction is right here within us, between ourselves and ourselves, the two sides of us. This dichotomy is right at the center of our existence. What do we do then? Well, the one option that we are already trying, it's not a very good option. We're trying to grasp, we're trying to hold or freeze life. But it's not a good idea to just stop the life. Because we are trying, the more we are trying, the more it is slipping away from us. Why can't we accept this simple fact? The life, the existence around us, it is a great stream. And this stream is always moving. And what we need to realize is that we need to learn to float rather, to go with it, to move with the stream, and not try to build dams, not try to stop the flow of life. Just go along with it, swim with it, float in it. And how can that happen? Once again, being present in the moment, being present to the experiences, experience them fully, whatever they are in this moment, whether it's a pleasurable experience or there is suffering. Just give yourself, you surrender yourself to the present moment. Then, in one of my favorite chapters, Ellen Watts gives some wonderful answers. The chapter called The Wisdom of the Body. And here, Watts tells us that our bodies, they already know how to live. Our breath, our heartbeat, our senses, they know how to be in the present. They are in the present. They are doing their work in the present moment. If we can just connect with them more deeply, more intimately, we will know how to connect with this great wisdom of flowing with the life. We can connect, rather we can return to this natural rhythm of life. And this is where I think the wisdom of the religions, particularly the Abrahamic religions and the spiritual wisdom of the East, they differ. Because a lot of times religions will ask you to not really care about your senses, and they might take you to the wrong path, to the path of desire. But here in the Eastern wisdom, it's about feeling deeply about your senses. Whatever you're experiencing through your senses, let's say you're looking somewhere, you're listening to some sounds, some music, or any noise. You listen to it deeply. You feel it, you experience it. You experience it fully. So that's the idea, that you come back to the moment. And you already have your body, your senses, which allow you to be fully present in the moment. And they allow you to access this now, the now which extends to eternity. If you think about it, there is no past, there is no future. The now is extended to the eternity. That's all you need to do. Just come back to this moment. Allow your body to experience this moment. That's the wisdom of the body. And that's where the book eventually leads to the marvelous moment, the moment that we have right now, and where we are supposed to be fully aware. And it's just about that, being aware, celebrating this present moment, and acknowledging the fact that this is the only real home we have. So instead of chasing some kind of meaning in the future, this is what we are supposed to observe, this moment. And whatever we have in it, whatever it is, whether it's sunlight falling on your skin, maybe darkness outside, chirping of crickets, maybe a sound of a bird, some people shouting in the background, some laughter you're hearing, anything you're observing right now, they are not distractions. They are what you would call life itself. That's all there is. So come back to it. Don't see it as distraction. Be fully aware. Give all your attention to this moment. Give everything to this moment. Surrender yourself to life in the moment. That's all you need to do. And later he also talks about morality, because a lot of times, as I said, because of the belief of the certain religions, about how you need to stay away from your desires, from your senses. They can give you certain kind of morality, but here the author asserts that in order to have true ethics, we don't need to find rigid rules. First of all, we need to be fully aware in the present moment. We need to be fully present to the life. We need to experience compassion. We need to experience love and let it arise more naturally. Once we go through this experience of spirituality, then only we can find true ethics. Otherwise, the ethics are more about impositions, which is not really truly an ethics. That's more like laws that are being imposed from the outside. But if you want to cultivate morality, ethics, you need this sense of awareness. You need to be fully awake in the moment. So, with that, I'll conclude this discussion, and I hope you get a chance to read the book, and you're going to learn so much from it. It's a really interesting guide. It's a philosophical discussion and exploration on finding relaxation, finding meaning, and finding certain answers that we desperately need in our times, where there is constant distraction and there is just endless worry and this age of anxiety that has been going on for quite some time now. This is where we need it. We really need it. And I hope you'll get a chance to read and reflect on it. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll come back with a new book. Thank you.